First and foremost, I'd like to give all thanks, glory, honor, and praise to the supreme power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakaha Kadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to the hopefully elect. Shalom to the few sisters watching and learning. Stay strong and remain humble. This is the brother Kazawan from the GMS Bahamas, Cap Nassau, Bakatu, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, with another lesson. Lord's will of the lesson be edifying and search his purpose, which is to help in the spiritual tabernacle of King David. Occupying prophecies coming to fruition, which makes it beautiful, which makes it the Bible, which makes Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, his word, 100% true. You know what I mean? You know that the Most High is the power, and he never will lie, and his word don't come out to him, his word don't return unto him void. These prophecies are jumping off of the pages left, right, and center. And we're seeing it happen in real time. To Wadi Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai for that. Alright. And this lesson that I'm going into is going to be based on Revelations, the 13th chapter, the 16th to the 18th verse, and Revelations 14 and 9. Going into the Charagma, the RFID microchip. Alright. The mark of the beast that the Bible speaks of. And it's happening right before our eyes as we see rumblings of wars, of rumors of wars, of World War III basically on the horizon. Alright, this is for fair use, for educational purposes as I go into the lesson. Now here we have it. This is a gentleman who basically has some semblance, of knowledge of what's going on, contrary to our people, because, our people, 2/3 of our people are allotted for death, that being you so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos. You all head stuck in the sand, alright? Even Edomites know, alright? Top scholars know. All right, the elites know, but Israel lost as a ghost. They more infatuated with basketball, football, the jobs, money, Diddy, Hollywood, so on and so on. You see, they say they don't want this world to end, but it is coming to an end, and it's gonna be a reset. You know what I mean, for the betterment of our people when Lord Yahweh Shai returns. But that's another lesson for another time. But let me get into the video.
I want to discuss with you some of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s testimony yesterday. The point of looking at this is not simply about, look at how wacky Donald Trump's Secretary of Health and Human Services is. That's true. That makes for a perfectly interesting and fine segment, but we all know that. What is critical to understand is that there are people who are in completely over their heads and also have completely abandoned the very principles they told us matter to them. Those are the two themes to keep in mind. And yes, it's wacky, of course, but let's get into it and I think you'll see. Remember when we were warned by the MAGA right wing that the left, Democrats, the Marxists, the whatever, want to microchip us. They want to microchip for tracking purposes the people of the United States. And you had the religious people saying, this is the mark of the beast.
You ain't had no religious people saying this is the mark of the beast. You heard that from the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Alright? Starting with I had Elder Apostle Taha, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Ramlan. Alright? All the elder bishops go on straight down. Okay? You didn't hear that from no religious people, all right, because they dealing with prosperity doctrine. They also dealing with love. They also dealing with all sorts of other madness, all right, contrary, all right, to bringing our people, preparing our people to stand in the day, all right, of the Lord's judgment. Okay, they doing all sorts of folly. You hear it from the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, all right. But guess what? It ain't a secret now. All right, everything is out. According to Luke 8, the 17th chapter, which reads, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest." And like we say, the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai don't return unto him void. The Most High, all right, the Most High, his word don't return unto him void. Okay, the secret is out right now. All right, the Most High power Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai said this will happen, and this is happening through his spirit and through his power. Okay. It says, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." Okay? So these prophecies is jumping off of the pages, left, right, and center. Let's get back into the video. But you ain't hear that from the religious people. You hear that from the elder apostles of the great millstone, Papa. And the like-minded Akim following the 100% truth. The 100% doctrine of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai.
You had the libertarians saying that this is government overreach. You had the conspiracy theorists saying this is the strategy of the left in order to something. I don't even really know what. And the mechanisms were, they want you wearing a microchip, these things where you put a microchip in your arm to then tap to pay. That's how they're going to trick you into it. Or
God, that's them Fitbit, that's them what they call the Fitbit, that's them Aura Ring, that's them Neurolinks, that's them Apple Watch, them Samsung watches, them monitors, what they put on you. Okay? That's what that is. You understand? And for decades, our elders and the bosses been talking about this, all right? Despite being ridiculed, despite being dragged through the mud, you know what I mean? Despite being made a mockery of, all right? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is putting an egg in anyone who stand against this word face, okay? Let me get another quick precept before I let the video play again. Habakkuk, Salakia, second chapter. God, Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." All right, and these visions speaking and not lying right now. The prophecy of this mark of the beast technology is here right now. They speaking loud and clear. It says, "Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." And this come in full force right now. All right, all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai.
they're going to trick you into it by having you get a COVID shot that then puts the microchip inside of your arm. And we very calmly explain to them, why would anyone even need to do that? We all are willingly carrying it around in the form of our mobile devices, put aside for a second that there's no evidence for it or that Bill Gates wants to do it or whatever. But we explain to them, your phone has your location, it has your communications, it has searches that expose your inner thoughts and vulnerabilities and insecurities. Why would you need to do any of that?
Kind of, guess what, 2/3 of our people, like we said, they are allotted for that. They're the multitude born and vain, and guess what, they're going to be willing to take it. Reason being that they are basically connected to this world. Okay, they don't want to give up this world. They want to be on the cutting edge of technology as technology moves. All right, you see the lines for the Apple phones, for the iPhones. You see the line for the new Samsungs. You see the lines for the latest technologies, the MacBooks and so on. You see what they said? So they're going to willfully take it. All right, now the problem is going to be those of the elect number. God's willing, we be a part of that elect number. All right, that's another like-minded came across the four winds. All right, the problem is going to be with us. All right, we're going to be seen to be basically rebels in society. All right, we see it during the pandemic. Okay, they wanted to basically, everybody wanted to turn on us, but now egg in everyone else's face. And this is going to be somewhat of the same type of concept. All right, but the Most High know what He's doing. The Most High separating these sheep from his goats.
Well, cut to yesterday. Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said that in his dream vision, within just a few years, everyone will have an even more invasive version of a proverbial microchip. It will be a wearable fitness device. Things like Fitbits, fitness watches, the Aura Ring, which goes on your finger, whatever. Okay? Check out what he said, and then we're going to talk about it.
Their diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the Maha agenda, making America healthy again, and we are going to. My vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Everyone in Babylon will be wearing a damn microchip in 4 years, and the world is going to follow suit. Those who follow the philosophy and who drunk the wine of this damn the beast system, all right, so you them, okay, who are aligned, who are joined at the hip, okay, everybody's going to basically, all the other countries are going to implement this on their citizens also, all right. Let me get quick reset. Yeah, man. So it's beautiful to see these things that the scriptures spoke of. All right, in ancient times. All right, coming to fruition right now. You know, the only living book, the only book that is speaking truth right now. Okay, that's speaking prophecy right now, loud and clear. All right, this is Psalms 37 and 7. It reads, "Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass." See, Kennedy, you hear what Kennedy say? He say he want every blood-clad Babylonian, all right, over there in the line of confusion, all right, to be chipped by 2030, all right. And trust me, our stupid leaders over here in the Bahamas going to do the same thing. You know, I that's a guarantee. Because if America sneeze, we get Chicago. All right? And it ain't only us, other Caribbean nations who under their thumb also. All right? This is going to be on a worldwide scale, man.
All right. Following up. So wait a second. We're going to put, because Bobby Kennedy Jr. likes the idea, we're going to put our sleep data, our heart rate data, our movement data, how sedentary we are. We're going to put all of that in the cloud for big tech and government too to access it. That's kind of weird.
You're going to be connected to the Internet of Things, according to Revelations 13 chapter, the 16 ways. All right, we've been saying this. Okay, this common knowledge right now. Getting to a point where it's basically, you know what I mean? We in a wait and see process because we know it's going to happen. We sure. All right, we sure this is going to happen. All right, this book of Revelations 13 and 16, it says, "And he caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and born, to receive the charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads." And that means everybody. Like what Bobby Kennedy just finished telling you, in 4 years he want every blood card person who in Babylon, all right, citizen or non-citizen, have to be there. You have to have that thing biometrically implanted inside you. It says that no man might buy or sell save he had that charagma or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, no man, all right, will be able to basically live freely in society or live comfortably in society, all right, unless you have that. They're going to make it very difficult for you. All right, but Yahweh Bashim Yahushai says he's going to provide for his elect men, for his remnant, so we ain't really got to worry about that. All right, it says, "Here is wisdom, let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 6. All right, Psi Sigma. All right, they're doing it through the medical aspect of it. All right, because as you know, Bobby Kennedy is the Minister of National Health in Babylon. All right, so you can be relegated and known as by a barcode. All right, and connected to the Internet of Things. You understand? This is where we're going. This is where we're at. Let me not say this is where we're going. This is where we're at right now. All right. These things have to happen in order for us to establish the new kingdom of Lord Yahweh Shai.
Weird, because these were the very same people warning us against that when it was being done secretly, we were told, by Bill Gates and Joe Biden and Big Pharma and Obama and Democrats. It was bad then. But when it's Donald Trump's Director of Health and Human Services actually saying it, we're supposed to say, cool, that sounds really good. When this could be used by government to track us, it could be used by health insurance companies to try to deny us care or raise rates and say, you don't get 10,000 steps a day, you don't even get 4,000 steps a day. You're riskier. You're only getting 5 hours of sleep a night. You're riskier. We're not going to insure you. All of these things, now they would be okay with because it was bullshit to begin with. That's really what's at the core of this. And by the way, wearable, what about every American being able to afford their prescription drugs or not having to choose between their prescriptions and groceries or childcare 1 week, or every American has a primary care doctor, never mind is able to go and get an appointment or afford the copay. What about those as goals? But the dream of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is that we will all have wearable fitness devices. Now, I don't have a problem with these devices. I wear one, okay? I want to know how many active minutes did I get a week. I'm trying to get 150.
This is where we are because Robert F. Kennedy already know what time it is. He already know prophecy. Prophecy has to be fulfilled. He already know they don't have much time to do, their end game, their end goal, their agenda. They don't have much more time to do that. Okay, so this is Revelations 12 and 12. It reads, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe, woe meaning destruction, to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath." I mean, the speaker, the devil is speaking to that physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. You understand? The devil doesn't see the writing on the wall, man. He already see the tensions. He already see what's going on. They already know their kingdom is circling the drain. They already know the return of Lord Yahweh is near. All right? It's Revelations 14 and 9. This is the consequences for our people taking that damn Karagma. Anyone, all right, who take that Karagma, the most high power Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to destroy for lack of faith. It's Revelations 14 and 9. It reads, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive that Karagma in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture, meaning without mercy, into the cup of his indignation, indignation being righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." They're going to be burnt up through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, by thermal nuclear missiles, laser beam technology from the chariots, direct energy from the Most High power Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. All right? Or you're just going to be destroyed. Okay? Let's see if anything else in there before I close this one out.
Moderate to high intensity minutes of exercise every single week, the device gives me that information. I want to make sure I'm getting 10,000 steps a day. The device gives me that information. It's not against the devices. I think the devices are useful. But absent basic, dealing with the social determinants of health, are our communities safe? What about air pollution, like Dr. Zach Rubin told us last week? What about simply, are you able to get unprocessed foods in your community? Do you?
All right. Esau just freaked himself out now. Okay, so let me get Revelations 3 and 10. All right, and there's something just to, have faith in. All right, just to stand firm when these times come. All right, when Lord Yahweh when Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right, puts these things in front of us. All right, we got to stand firm and stand 10 toes down, even though some of us are going to be martyred, some of us are going to be in prison, some of us are going to suffer that guillotine, some of us are going to suffer beatings, victimizations. We got to stand firm for Lord Yahweh Shai, all right, for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because when Lord Yahweh Shai returns, all right, the kingdom is going to be ours. All right, we have a righteous reward. This Revelation 3 and 10 says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation." The hour of temptation is coming when that martial law coming and they flicking trying to force it to take that thing, that karagma, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right, and Robert F. Kennedy and I'm pushing that. You see, they pushing that right now as we speak. All right, so don't take that karagma. All right, stand firm for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The time for repentance is now. Establish that relationship with the Most High. All right, so that hopefully you can be saved in the end. All right, because ain't none of us saved. All right, until that day. Okay, we don't know. All right, hopefully. All right, hopefully, Lord's willing, Yahweh Ratazah. You know what I mean? We be saved in that day. All right. So just another short lesson. I'd like to close out by saying I'd like to give all thanks, glory, honor, and praise to the supreme power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Bakaha Kadash, and double honors to the elders, to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to hopefully lack. All right, this is the Brother Kazo on closing out. Till we meet again, Shalom about the ball. Ban-Yasharahla.